The countdown is officially on, apparently. Canaccord Genuity's Tony Dwyer says the clock is now ticking.
Everywhere you look in the United States, it's awash with debt. The government debt under President Trump is out of control. Students are up to their ears in debt. And in the US bond markets, there's $3 trillion of corporate debt sitting at BBB.
I think it's fairly clear that there is going to be a growth slowdown, that the economy was given what is now generally called a sugar high by the combination of the tax reform bill in December of 2017 and then the expenditure increases in January 2018, creating a very large increase in the deficit.
You know, people think, well, gee, in 2008, we learned our lesson. You know, we got debt under control, we got derivatives under control. No, debt is much higher. Debt to GDP ratios are much worse. You can say that the next crisis will be exponentially worse than the last one.
Is a recession in the U.S. inevitable?
And I think that...
Do you see one coming?
Yeah, I think that in the next 2 years, let's say prior to the next election, there's probably a 40% chance of a recession.
You know, if history repeats, we're in for a good chance of another recession.
So of course, as always, I have a lot to say about gold. You know, I think the first thing I want to get across is that my thesis on gold has not changed. Everybody should own gold. It should be part of everybody's portfolio.
Gold, you know, at 5% of your portfolio, 5 or 10% of your portfolio, under the circumstances. A strategic asset allocation move to put gold in a portfolio that I believe it always should be a certain part of a portfolio.
And so the next safe haven is going to be gold?
Gold is actually doing fairly well considering the headwind. Now, what I do expect is in time, as this, you know, the signs of recession emerge, yield curve inverts, growth slows, you know, job creation slows down, not a full-scale recession or crash, but just enough warning signs, and the Fed reverses course that all of a sudden they do pause at one of these meetings, gold's going to skyrocket, because that's an admission. The Fed's, at that point, the Fed's throwing in the towel. They say, you know what, we really can't escape the room. We can't get back to normal, because when we try, we sink the economy, and we have to back off from that. And that's when, I think, that's when gold will shine, no pun intended, because it'll be very clear that the Fed cannot get out of this easy money mode.